Hello, Toads and Toadettes. I've played a lot of games growing up, but one game that really stood out to me was Super Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is my favorite game of all time right now, and it is for a lot of reasons. This game will probably be one of my favorite games of all time for a while now. It'll be hard to top this game. So, it would be pretty dumb if I didn't do a review on this game, so let's go. Let's start with the story for this game, and a little spoiler warning before I go ahead. It's not anything too big. This is just the intro cutscene. This is me just going over what you're going to see when the game starts. I will not spoil the end of the game. Starts off with Mario going to the Star Festival, which happens every 100 years according to the storybook. And during that festival, Bowser attacks the mushroom. I guess that's the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't really know if that is what that is. And he legit just takes Peach's castle. He doesn't even want Peach. He does want Peach, but he just doesn't care to actually go get her. He just grabs the whole entire castle, I guess. And Mario tries to save Peach, but then he ends up being bodied by Kamek and thrown into the depths of the galaxy. He wakes up in the Gate Galaxy, where the Lumas guide him to Rosalina, which back then she was a goddess, and now she's that one CPU that you always lose to in Mario Party. We all know it. But basically, she explains that Mario needs to find the 7 Grand Stars, and a certain amount of Power Stars. These stars came because of the Star Festival, and the thing that happens every 100 years. And that will give enough power to her, I guess, home, and your hub worlds in the game, the Comet Observatory, to be able to reach Bowser and save Peach. Also, in the Comet Observatory, there is a library where during the game you can progress through a storybook or get more pages in a storybook, which is what tells you Rosalina's tragic backstory. I won't say anything about it, but you can go read that for yourself. And overall, this game has a pretty decent story. In my opinion, it has the best story when it comes to 3D mainline Mario. Now, let's get to the big stuff, that being the gameplay. This is probably the most important category when determining if a game is good or not. Basically, this is how good it looks, like how it runs, its graphics, all that. Controls, if the game doesn't control well, you're not going to want to play it, so that's the big part. And also how creative it is compared to other titles or other games in general. Is it really, like, expansive, if you know what I mean? But yeah, when it comes to the graphics, this game looks beautiful for a Wii game. And it also runs at a surprisingly smooth 60 frames per second. Some Switch games can't even run at 60 frames per second, which is sad. Don't know how that happens, and this game managed to run at 60 frames per second. But yeah, when it comes to graphics, this game does not disappoint. This game's new mechanic is that the gravity sucks you towards the middle of the planet. So you can kind of go 360 around a planet. Very interesting mechanic. It was very fun, like using it in different galaxies. I think it's very cool. It's kind of, I'm not going to say it's what made the game, but it is a huge part in the game. And also, there is a hub world in this game where you choose your area, and it's also just fun to go around the observatory, especially when you unlock the Red Star power-up. Something about hub worlds just makes the game better for me, to be honest. I prefer it more than what they did in Galaxy 2, where it's like level selects. But yeah, moving on to the level design part of this. There are 42 galaxies in the game, with 120 power stars in total, an average of around 3 power stars per galaxy. Some are like small galaxies, which only have 1 star, and then there's some that have even more than 3. Usually each star like that you select, you use a star and you select it, and then it takes you to that galaxy that the star is in, and basically you're looking for just that star, unless it's a hidden star. The stars usually change up, like one time it might be, a boss fight, when it's usually not a boss fight, which is cool. I like that, but this is what they also did in previous 3 mainline Mario titles. A lot of the galaxies were also linear compared to previous titles. Now, there wasn't galaxies in previous titles, but the areas in previous titles were more open. Take Super Mario 64, their areas were more open than what Galaxy has. but they use that space very, like, well. Like, I feel like, despite it being linear, it was used extremely well. Like, they didn't make it bad, basically. It's linear, but in a good way. And obviously, maybe would have been better, a little bit better if it was more open, but I think they used it very wisely, and I was shocked by the ideas they were making a reality in these levels. Each galaxy was unique and extremely creative. Like, for example, take Toy Time Galaxy. It's like a galaxy themed around toys and all that, and there was this one star where it had you climbing up a big robot Bowser. It was super cool using the gravity mechanics to climb your way to the top. Gotta move on, because let's get to more of the, like, back to the galaxies more than specific galaxies. So each area has an average of 2 big galaxies. So like I said, maybe they might have more than 3. Containing 3 to 5 stars, and 2 small galaxies, usually having 1 star each, and then a boss galaxy containing a grand star. You need the grand stars to move on to the next area full of galaxies, but grand stars only count as 1 power star on the counter, which is kind of weird. But yeah, there's so much galaxies, and they all have a lot of effort put into them. Oh, wait, before I move on, I want to go over one more galaxy. I'm going to go specific into this one now, which is Ghostly Galaxy. And the star where you race the Rider Boo using the blue stars. This was so much fun, dude. It was insanely stressful, though, I'm not going to lie. At times I was, like, shaking the Wii Remote because, like, oh crap, it's catching up, and you gotta, like, precisely press A on the blue stars. That was a real fun one. And oh wait, one more similar to that is the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy, where you are surfing on, like, the Stingray. That gave me insane anxiety. And one last star that gave me PTSD is the ball levels, which had you using motion controls to maneuver Mario rolling on a ball on very skinny paths. Holy crap, sometimes I cannot fall asleep because of those stars. And the only last thing to mention about stars are prankster comets. These have the same value as stars, and basically they take a star from a galaxy that has a comet and changes it either to a cosmic comet, which has you racing Cosmic Mario, which is usually not that hard to be honest, but it might take you a few tries to learn the best route to win the race. Speedy comets, which basically give a time limit to complete a star. That's sometimes hard, but not usually. Fast foe comets, which just speed up the enemies, which sounds lame, but there was one comet where it had the flippin' cube thwomp dudes. They were going super fast. You would get crushed so easily. That was very stressful, I'm not gonna lie. Daredevil comets, which puts your max health at 1, which yes, Mario has a health bar in this game. Usually it's 3, but if it's a Daredevil comet, he only has 1 HP. And finally, or finally, there are purple comets, which has you collecting purple coins in a level, which are hidden. That was very painful to do. Those are like the last 20 stars, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. And also, one more thing about stars. I know there's a lot of things about stars, but what do you expect from a game called Super Mario Galaxy? There is green stars, which are kind of like hidden stars in a level. I'm guessing they're based on Luigi. They may part, maybe not. You never know. But when you get a green star, they'll open a Trial Galaxy. And Trial Galaxy is basically just a more difficult, challenging mini galaxy. And there's the ball level. Ball levels are one of these stupid Trial Galaxies. Ball levels. Ball levels. That's all I have to say. Why ball levels? That one was probably the hardest star for me to get. Alright, moving on. Now that we're done with stars, kind of felt like a fever dream there. Let's talk about grand stars. No, I'm just kidding. There isn't much to those. So let's talk about power-ups. Because yes, this game has power-ups. Let's start with the basic ones that don't really change your gameplay and are kind of already like used in previous Mario games. Which are the Super Star, or the Rainbow Star, which gives Mario invincibility. An enemy that touches him goes to heaven, or hell, maybe, we don't really know. It lasts for about a few seconds, but starts to get worse as it wears off. Next is the Fire Flower, which allows you to shoot fireballs. Wow, groundbreaking, I know. But something weird about this is that it lasts for 20 seconds, unlike other Mario games where you take damage, it goes away. Similar is the Ice Flower, which allows him to shoot ice balls that freezes enemies, and water spouts, and he can also skate above water. This also lasts about 20 seconds. Moving on to more interesting power-ups is the Bee Mushroom, which gives Mario the ability to fly for a bit and climb sticky walls and stand on flowers. There's also the spring mushroom, which allows Mario to spring really high. This one is alright, but it's more gimmicky than the rest. But let's move on to my personal favorite power-up, which is the Boo Mushroom, which transforms Mario into a Boo, which allows him to fly and basically no-clip through walls. But if he touches another Boo or goes through light, then say goodbye to the Boo Mushroom. Oh, and wait, how could I forget the Red Star, a power-up similar to the Wing Cap, but it can only be used in the Comet Observatory and the Gate Galaxy, which is very sad. But it basically just lets Mario fly. But it does run out after like 20 seconds, which is kind of weird. Not really a power-up, but it technically is a power-up. Lastly, for the gameplay, is the controls, which are, I want to say, pretty nice in this game. The camera is in a fixed position, which most of the time can get annoying. The camera just basically kind of sucks. It can get awkward. But my main concern about the controls is moving Mario in water. The swimming is booty in this game. I don't know. There was I think it was called Bonefin Galaxy. I beat the little bonefish boss, but because of the trash swimming controls, I literally swam into a volcano thing and died. I hate the swimming in this game. That's like basically my only big complaint with this game. But it's not even that big in the grand scheme of things. And something unique to this game is if you shake the Wii Remote, Mario will spin, which can hurt enemies as well. I mostly use it at the end of my jumps to give me a little bit more time in the air, though. But yeah, the controls were decent, and Mario's moveset was pretty good also. Overall, this game's gameplay is really good. Level designs are super creative, extremely, well made, a lot of effort. The graphics are beautiful. The controls are kind of, they're decent, I would say. They're not bad, they're decent, because Mario's normal controls are pretty good. Moving on to the sound. This is basically what you're hearing in the game. The sound effects add the music. I'm a guy who really, likes video game music. I think when I hear a song from a game, it should remind me of the good times I had playing it. That's why this is its own category for when it comes for me reviewing a game. And let's start with the sound effects first. All the sound effects are really good. The voices and the cutscenes themselves sound really good. The star bit effect is something you might kind of get annoyed about for after hearing it a while, but to be honest, I think it's perfect. I can't really picture collecting a star bit and not hearing that noise. It kind of is just imprinted in my mind at this point. But that's not the best thing Galaxy has when it comes to sound, because where Galaxy really shines is its soundtrack. The music in this game is orchestrated for the first time in, I think, the Mario franchise. The music is beautiful. Songs like Space Junk Road, Good at Galaxy, Family, and the sadly catchy Aquatic Race are some of my favorite video game songs, period. The songs from this game bring back a lot of memories and give me high levels of nostalgia, and there is not one bad song in this beautiful original soundtrack. Replayability is a huge factor in making a good game, and while Mario Galaxy does not have the best post-game or stuff to do after completion, there is a bunch of stars for you to get if you did not already get them while beating the game. So if you didn't, then there's a lot of stars for you to collect. And what they tried, their kind of version of a post-game, it's not really a post-game, it's this.
Super Luigi Galaxy!
Yep, that's right. Your favorite green man can take the spotlight with Super Luigi Galaxy, which is just the same game, but you play as Luigi. Yep, that's the post-game. But besides that, I think if you didn't already get the stars, there is a lot of stars, and they're all very fun to collect. So, I would say it doesn't have the best replayability factors, but it does have some good stuff to do. Finally, let's compare Galaxy to previous titles. The only other two games that came before this were Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. These are two drastically different games when it comes to the themes, the way they control, the way the game honestly just plays are very different, so I don't really like to compare these games, but if I did have to compare this, I would say that Galaxy is the best when it comes to the control, sound, and story. But the replayability is it depends on whatever game you like better that makes you want to replay, because some of these games really have good replayability, so I'll let that category for you to decide. But these games all have great factors to their gameplay, so I think this game has done a fantastic job when compared to other Mario 3D titles. Now, let's get to my complaints. Which there's barely any, so you don't gotta worry. There's barely anything wrong with this game. As the only ones that I have are the swimming controls. The swimming controls. The camera is also not that good, and there is not that much stuff to come back after. Like the replayability kind of sucks. But the only really big factor there is replayability, but it really doesn't affect Galaxy, as the whole entire game is a pretty good length. So yeah, I have barely any complaints. These complaints barely drag the game down for me, but they do keep it from being perfect. Honestly, this game was near flawless, and it's still a game that can amaze people today. And when I replayed this game, I could do nothing but shed a tear. This game will forever be close to me, not just as my favorite game, but as a game I would even go as far to say was one of the games that made me fall in love with gaming as a whole. As you can see, I could praise this game all day, so how about I give it my rating, which on a scale from 0 to 100 is 96. Now, for those who don't really understand that, basically 9.6 out of 10, in simpler terms. Well, my friends, that is it for my Super Mario Galaxy review. And all I can do now is hope you enjoyed, and also hope to see you in the next one.